Good afternoon, everyone. I am Miss Jim Christine S. Santos, and I will be your instructor for today. So, the topic that I am going to discuss is prepositions. So, next slide, please. So, when you hear the word what are your initial thoughts about it? Miss Lian, what are your thoughts about prepositions?
Prepositions tell whether where or what is the place of the object or to indicate the place of an object.
Yes, so preposition tells about the location of something or the time and the place of someone or something. So preposition is a word or group of words that is used before a noun or a pronoun. It can be phrasal noun or noun phrase or pronoun phrase. So it is used to show direction, time, place, and spatial relationship. So prepositions are typically followed by an object. So next slide, please. So prepositions can be used to express relationships other than place and time, such as origin, ownership, and absence. So the type of the prepositions that I am going to discuss will show or will express the relationship or the relationships such as the origin of a person, the origin of a place, the ownership, and the absence of someone or something. So next slide, please. So these are the prepositions that I'm going to discuss. Can you please read it, Miss Jing Zhao?
By, with, without, about.
Yes. So these are the prepositions by, with, without, and about. Next slide po. So by. So by has several uses in English. So it can refer to something that is done to achieve a certain result. For example, I fix my hair by combing it. So the action that I've done is combing it, while the result is that I fix my hair. Do you get what I'm saying? Do you get the point, people?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So the second use of by or the preposition by is to say who wrote or made something. It's to say that someone has written this essay, someone has wrote this book, or I made something. So by is the preposition that we need to use. So the other use of by is to talk about methods or ways of travel. For example, by boat, by plane, by a car, by train. So those are the common examples or the common uses of by. Next slide, please. So here are the sample sentences using the preposition by. Just like I said earlier, by is very common in English. That it can be used to depict or it can be used in lots of different situations. And it is mostly used as a preposition, but it can also be used as an adverb. But here we will focus on the use of by as a preposition. So the first sample sentence is I fixed my television by hitting it. So the use of by in this sentence is that we or the action and there is an action and there is an result. So, Miss Rimarem, can you please identify the action that is done in this sample sentence? Your mic is muted, Miss Rimarem.
The action that is done is by hitting it.
Yes, you're correct. The action that is done in this sentence, in the first sentence, is by hitting it. And what is the outcome or what is the result, Miss
I
Sebastian?
fixed my television. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. So can you repeat what you say, Miss Rimarem?
I fixed my television.
Yes. So the first use of preposition by in this sentence is to say or to show that there is an action and there is a result. So the second sentence, can you please read it, Miss Jing Zhao?
I turned on the radio by pressing the button.
Yes, thank you, Miss Jing. And can you please identify the action that is done in the second sentence?
By pressing the button.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Sebastian. And then what is the result or the outcome of that action? Any volunteer? Yes, Ms. Sebastian.
I turned on the radio.
Yes, so thank you. And so the first use of preposition by in these sentences is to denote or to show that the action that you've done has a specific result has a specific result. So the next slide will so the next slide is that by as a you or preposition by is used to show that someone has written something. So can you please read the first sentence, Miss Lian?
I'm reading 1984 by George Orwell.
Yes, and can you please identify the preposition in here in the first sentence?
By.
Yes, thank you. So, I am reading 1984 by George Orwell depicts that someone or George Orwell has written the book 1984. So, the next sentence is that I am reading Absolutely Positively Not by David LaRochelle. So, this sentence says the use of by or the preposition by in these two sentences is to show that someone has made something or someone has written something. So, do you understand, guys, people?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Next slide, please. So, um, third third type of sample sentences uses of preposition by. So my siblings have never traveled by plane before. So the preposition in here is by or by plane. So in these sentences, by is used to show the methods or ways of travel or transportation. So in here, the preposition is by, and the way that they are traveling is by plane. So the second sentence, my friends often go to Japan by boat. So this sentence uses by as a means or as a way of traveling. So next one or next slide, please. So next prepositions is with and without. Can you please read the first definition of with or the first use of with, Miss Rimarem?
It can mean accompanied by. It is used to say or to talk about possession and desire.
So with is used to say that someone is accompanied by. For example, um, I go to the grocery store with my friend. So I am accompanied by my friend when I go into the super or the store. And it is also used to say or to talk about possession and desire. Can you please read the second and third definition, Ms. Jing Zhao?
Is used to talk about the thing used to perform an action.
Miss Lian, can you please the use of without or the preposition without?
Again, ma'am, I can hear you po.
Um, okay, I'm gonna read that. The use of without. So, without is used to talk about the absence of something. For example, I came to the party without a gift. So, there is the absence of gift when I came into the party. So, do you get what I'm saying? There is an absence.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I think your mic is muted.
Ay, sorry. Can we move on to the next slide, Miss Lian? So here are some sample sentences that uses the preposition with. So can you please read it, Miss Lian Sebastian? Both sentences.
I went to a restaurant with my wife. I used to travel abroad with my friends.
So what do you think is the use of with in these sentences? Thus, it shows that someone is accompanied by, or does this show the possession or the desire for something? What do you think is the use of with in these sentences?
Is it accompanied by?
Yes, very good, Miss Lian. So the use of with in this sentence is accompanied by. I went to a restaurant with my wife. This shows that I went to the restaurant and I am accompanied by someone or by my wife. And the same goes with the sentence number two. So, Miss Lian, next slide. I want a job with a good salary. I need to hire someone with excellent computer skills. So, what do you think is the use of with preposition with in these two sentences, Miss Jing? Is it depicts that someone is being accompanied, or is it it shows that you want to achieve a possession or a desire?
I think desire.
Yes, that's good, Miss Jing. So, in the second sample of sentences using preposition with, this shows that the use of with in these sentences is that to show a possession or to show a desire. So, next slide, please. Ayan. Sorry for the interruption. So the third set of sample sentences is that Eliza paid for the dress with her credit card, and then Shane cut the bread with a knife. So the use of with in these sentences is to show that someone is it shows that the thing is used to perform an action. The thing is used to perform an action. So, for example, Shane cut the bread with the knife. With the knife shows that thing or the knife is the one who cut the bread. What the knife is the thing that is used to cut the bread. So, next slide, please. So, sample sentences using without. I came to the party. That's party. I'm so sorry for the typo. I came to the party without a gift. And then the other one is that Daphne came to the store without money. So the use of the preposition without in these two sentences is to show that there is an absence of something. For example, in the sentence number one, I came to the party without a gift. So the absence of gift is shown in the first sentence, and then the absence of money is shown in the second set of sentences. Sorry for the noise, guys. So, next slide, please. So, the last preposition is about. So, can you please read the use of about in Miss Lian?
About is mainly used to mean on the subject of.
So, about is mainly used to mean on the subject of. Can you please move on to the next slide to show us the sample sentences? So, these are the sample sentences using about. I'm going to call the bank about their bad service. The next one is that Eliza used to tell stories about the love of her life. So the use of preposition about in here is to say that um, someone is talking about something, or the subject is talking about something or about someone. So next slide, please. So before we move on to the exercises I prepared for you people, I just want to add some information about the use of preposition by. Sorry, I'm sorry. So preposition by can be used to form the passive voice. For example, so preposition by indicates that who in the passive form, that it indicates who is doing the action. For example, I will give a sentence and it's active voice. So David is cleaning the kitchen. So the sentence is in active voice. David is cleaning the kitchen. So we will use by to transform the sentence into passive form. So the kitchen is being cleaned by David. Do you get what I'm saying? That by is also used to form passive voice.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry. So there are two rules that we need to remember when we use prepositions. So the first rule is that we should always use comma after prepositional phrase that starts a sentence. For example, um, in the sea, ay, wait guys. Sorry for the interruptions again. So we need to use a comma after a prepositional phrase that starts a sentence. For example, in the ocean, I see a shark. So after the prepositional phrase in the ocean, we need to put a comma to show that in the ocean there is a shark, to indicate that in the ocean there is the shark. And then the other rule is that we need to use an object pronoun every we need to use object pronoun We need to use object pronoun, or we need to use prepositions that are typically followed by an object pronoun. So, object pronoun or an object is the one who receives the actions. So, those are the two rules that we need to remember when we are using prepositions. It can be confusing, yes, but when you try to understand and study more about prepositions, eventually you'll learn a lot, and then you'll use prepositions correctly. So let's move on to the exercises that I provided or that I prepared. So I would love to live in a house blank the sea. So what do you think is the correct prepositions that we need to use? Is it by, with, without, or about? Yes, Miss Redlin, can you please answer the first question?
I would love to live in a house by the sea.
Yes, that is correct. I would love to live in a house by the sea. So next sentence, Miss Lian. So James cut his hair blank scissors. What is the correct prepositions that we need to use? Miss Lian?
James cut his hair with scissors.
Yes, that's correct. So next slide. I broke my phone blank, dropping it in a puddle. Miss Jing, can you please answer the um, sentence or the question? What preposition
Yes, I,
need to use?
I broke my phone by dropping it in a puddle.
Yes. So the correct preposition that we need to use is by. So next question, Miss Lian. I'm sorry, but I have no idea what you are talking blank. Miss Remarem, can you answer the question?
I think the correct preposition is about.
Yes. So the correct preposition is about. So next slide. Miss Lian, can you please read it and answer it afterwards? Miss Lian.
I enjoy reading with myself. Am I right?
I enjoy reading what with. Can you please repeat your answer, Miss Lian?
I enjoy reading with myself. I'm not sure if it is with or about, but with is my answer.
So the answer in this question is that I enjoy reading by myself. So thank you, Miss Lian. Next slide. Next slide, please. So this will be the last set of activities or exercise that you are going to do. So change the active voice into passive one using the preposition by. So the first one is that a famous architect designed the new building. It is in the active voice. Can you change it into a passive one, Miss Redlin?
I think the new um the new building was designed by famous architect.
Yes, you're correct, Miss Redlin. Thank you for answering. So next slide, the second one, Miss Lian. Miss Jing Zhao, can you read the sentence?
Sarah read the book.
And can you please transform it into passive one or the passive voice using
Um,
preposition by?
the book was written by Sarah.
Yes, that's correct. Thank you, Miss Jean. And then the last one, Miss Lian. Miss Lian, can you please read the sentence and answer or change or transform it into passive form?
The kitchen was cleaned by Lian.
Please read the sentence first
Okay.
and then transform it into passive form.
Lian is cleaning the kitchen. Then the kitchen was cleaned by Lian.
So the correct answer in this number is that the kitchen is being cleaned by Lian. Thank you, Miss Lian. And that is all for today, guys or people. I hope you learned something with the prepositions that I show you earlier. And then I do wish you well. Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Thank you, ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.